Back to the summer of 1989, here's Bill Murray being interviewed by Good Morning America's Chantal. This was the first of a two-part interview. I'm going to present things in chronological order here, so there's going to be other clips presented later that night on different channels before we get back around to Good Morning America the next morning.
You know, the fear we had was that we would make a disastrous, sequel that just appeared to be for the purposes of making money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously not. It's obviously a lot more, styling went into it than into the first one even. The first one was really a magical movie, but a lot of work went into this to make it good. All right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
Yes, they are back, but Bill Murray is the wisecracker.
Don't put any of those old cheap moves on me.
No.
It's different.
I have all new cheap moves.
Most Bill Murray movies are outlets for his comic creativity. Dramatic roles like his 1984 movie, The Razor's Edge, are rare. Will we see you do something like that again? I miss you as a dramatic actor.
Well, you're one of the few, and I'm going to put you on my mailing list. I like doing, you can't just always do projects that are close to your heart, but this is a project that's close to my heart. Not that the subject matter is so important, but working with these people is close to my heart. These are people I've known for my whole professional life, and we've gone from, starving thieves to overfed, hired fellas. One friend of mine said, it's not so much what kind of work you're doing, what kind of project you pick, but how you work when you're doing whatever project you work on, So I'm a very serious actor when I'm doing what looks like just a very sellable commercial movie. So it's really how hard you work, and those things are often, a fate says, well, a director has a script or someone brings something in. You can't always work in your garden. Sometimes you got to wash the dishes. So it's like that. It'll come around. I've got some other things that I'm going to do.
I find that fascinating. People would look at you and say, this man is one of the funniest men on the planet. He is successful in whatever he does. He is married to a wonderful person. He has beautiful children. Bill Murray worries about nada. Nothing worries him. He's afraid of nothing.
Well, no, that's, of course, you have to worry you're dead. I mean, all you can be is as much as you can, and if you're still alive, you haven't gone as far as you can. So every time you drift away and your mind wanders, you think about anything that's, the sort of, any of the distractions, the major ones, you're wasting time and you're not doing something, you're not doing something positive. Right? People think, oh, he's got everything. He's got a house and a swimming pool. What more does anybody want? Well, go ahead, get the house and the swimming pool, and then you'll find out there's a lot more to want. You just exchange. I was talking about this with Michael Chapman, the cinematographer of Ghostbusters, this morning, and we said, well, he said, I always thought once you got the money thing licked, everything else would just fall into line. And they said, and I've been talking to people lately, and they say that they just have other problems. And you just exchange problems, that's all. You don't, when they say the grass is always greener, it's true, it looks better over there, but it's not. It's just different problems. Everyone has it. Nobody really thinks that, people put on this planet with no problems. That doesn't sound right, does it?
How does Bill Murray, family man, sound? Tomorrow he talks about the importance of parenting.
Crime starts to rise.
The Titanic just arrived.
When ghosts start arriving by the boatload.
Who are you going to call?
Suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
Yes, they're all back in Ghostbusters 2, an Ivan Reitman film rated PG. Opens Friday at theaters everywhere.
Now I love this next clip for the great Who is Ernie Hudson montage that Chris Connelly does on MTV's The Big Picture.
We've got Indies, Trekkies, and Preppies in the Big Five Countdown. We'll get an early look at Great Balls of Fire, and we'll hang with our special guests, Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters 2, and Ghostbuster wannabe Rick Moranis, who's also the star of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Scott Connelly, senior editor of Premiere Magazine, and welcome to another edition of The Big Picture here on MTV. And the big news this week, of course, is the return of the Ghostbusters. those ectoplasm experts who grossed $230 million back in '84. And Ghostbusters 2 features all the stars of the first film, including Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Sigourney Weaver, those guys. And of course, the guts of the Ghostbusters, Sir Ernie Hudson, our special guest. You know, it shocked me to learn this, but as you'll see, there's some people out there who still don't know who Ernie Hudson is.
Ernie Hudson? To be honest, I've never heard the name.
Ernie Hudson. Ernie, I don't know.
Ernie's an enigma. We haven't really figured it out.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
Isn't he one of the Hudson brothers? Oh, yeah, the one with the beard, right?
Ernie Hudson, I had a date with him one night. I'm not kidding you. Bad news.
I don't know who Ernie Hudson is.
Oh, yeah, he's Bert's friend on Sesame Street, right?
I don't care who Ernie Hudson is.
Didn't he invent the cotton gin?
He has no effect on my life.
He's probably one of the best actors among our...
And one of the great power forwards in working in film today.
We're talking Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Garrett Morris. He was great on Saturday Night Live. Baseball been very, very good to me.
Oh, my God, it's the guy from the Mod Squad.
Never heard of him, sorry.
He keeps changing. Every time I think I put a beat on him, he keeps changing.
Well, of course, he plays Winston Zeddemore in Ghostbusters 2. Anybody should know that.
And here is the star of Weeds, Penitentiary 2, The Joy of Sex, Leviathan, and one ghost-busting legend, Ernie Hudson. Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure to have you. Now, people just love Winston Zeddemore. You are like this huge cult figure now, huh? People stop you on the street and talk Winston Zeddemore talk to you now?
People stop me on the street, but I didn't know the cult legend and all that stuff. People do stop.
It'll still start to build.
It'll start to, yeah, I'll wake up one and realize. No, it's great being in the film. It's great being part of it. It's a lot of fun, and people seem to really like it.
Now, in the first film, you almost represented the point of view of the audience, didn't you? You were saying, who are these guys? But in this one, you're really one of the bunch. Huh?
Yeah, I think in this one, he's just much more part of it. I think the difference between the first film and the second film is he really considers them friends. It kind of parallels my own life. And when I first joined the group, they were just a bunch of crazy, strange people. And now I guess I've become a little crazy and strange because they all make sense to me. So
yeah, they haven't gotten normal.
You know,
we know that.
Yeah,
we know that much. That's no question there. They must be really fun to work with, though. All the improvisation that goes back and forth.
Yeah, they've been together for a long time. It's kind of like a family. Everybody knows each other very well, and they kind of know how to play off each other in terms of timing. And yeah, they're really very, very good, very supportive, and very open to change, which is great to work that way as an actor.
And here are all of you, in fact, taking a good look at some unusual slime. Here's a scene from Ghostbusters 2.
I have seen some disgusting crud in my time, but you take the cake. You're just...
This is what you do with your spare time. Peter, this is an incredible breakthrough. I mean, what a discovery, a psychoreactive substance. Whatever this stuff is, it responds to human emotional states. Mood slime.
Oh, baby. You mean this stuff actually feeds on bad vibes?
Like a cop in a donut factory.
We've been running tests to see if we can get an equally strong positive reaction.
What kind of test? Well, we sing to it, and we talk to it, and say supportive, nurturing things to it. You're not sleeping with it, are you, Ray?
Oh, you. It's always the quiet ones.
You hound.
That stuff must feel real good, like on your underarms and things like that, because you get drenched in slime at one point with Aykroyd and Ramis.
Yeah, I think it was 100,000 gallons of slime was used in the movie, and I think I personally took like 80,000.
The slime king of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, at one point, to try to make it feel better, you actually sing Kumbaya to this? It didn't make it into the movie.
It didn't make it into the movie, but yeah, we do. It was sort of a message of saying that we all affect. And by singing this wonderful song, we make things better.
And even though it didn't make it into the movie, it's kind of the theme of the film, huh? That if we're all nicer to each other, the slime will go away.
I think it's a good message that especially young kids will pick up.
Well, I hope young kids won't make their own slime at home, but will go out and check this movie out. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters 2. You know, also returning to the fold in Ghostbusters 2 is our other special guest, Rick Moranis, whose nerdy Louis Tully gets to show a surprising romantic streak.
So you live alone?
I used to have a roommate, but my mom moved to Florida.
Oh. Why don't you come over here and sit with me?
Okay. So you want to play Boggle or Super Mario Brothers?
You know, I think motherhood's a very natural instinct. I like a child myself. Would you?
Tonight?
And here he is, this summer's newest sex symbol, Rick Moranis. Welcome, Rick. Thanks.
Newest sex symbol. I would have worn something more risque had I.
Well, it's true in these other films too. You're in Parenthood. You're like a really hot guy, and in you know.
I can't believe you've seen all these movies. They're not coming out for 3 months, and he gets to see them.
We have to get out and see these kind of things. Now I understand you begged Ivan Reitman to allow you to be possessed in this film, but he turned you down. Is that right?
How do you know that?
Just Ivan was saying just the other day.
Yeah, which is why in the scene that Sigourney Weaver discovers Annie Potts and I on her couch, kind of making out a little bit, I had my hair standing on end to just try and resemble that possessed state briefly. I was possessed by Annie Potts briefly in the film.
And you could do a lot worse than that, I would imagine.
That's true.
You've been an accountant, but you've sort of turned into a lawyer for this one.
I went to night school and got my law degree.
And you have a hilarious sort of lawyer scene where apparently the night school stuff didn't take that well.
It didn't really pay off, the night school stuff. I should go back and get a real law degree, I think.
Well, that's a relief. That's a good idea. We'll have more with Rick Moranis when we come back, and a look at. Sure, I'm Chris Connelly, chatting my head off with Rick Moranis.
You are fast.
That's
You're
right.
Faster than I am.
He plays a size-bending scientist in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Isn't that a great title?
It is a great title. It's a lot better than Teeny Weenies, which is what I gather the original title.
We're living in an era now of titles. 3 Men and a Baby, you knew what the movie was about. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, guess what the movie's about.
You shrink your children and the neighbor's children.
You got it, and we'll be back in a moment. Is that it? Is that the end of
That's just about it, except that...
They said a minute 10. I thought we used up all the time.
Except that you've got all kinds of things you do. You play like a straight man in this movie, kind of. You don't get to crack that many jokes. It's sort of what you've done.
Well, I just wear weird headgear in this movie and look for these tiny kids that I've shrunk. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That's right. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Crawling through the grass, and I put on different contraptions to try and find them before the movie's over.
Before all hell breaks loose. You don't really realize you've shrunk them at first, right? They've been shrunk in your absence.
Right.
Well, that's a that's a dangerous thing.
We've definitely used a minute 10.
That's right. And in fact, here's a look at Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
What a title.
Hang on! Hang on!
Mort, what's gotten into you?
Dad!
I think he just misses the kids.
No!
I'll tell you, their size. That backyard is like 10 miles. Giant blades of grass, huge insects. It's a jungle out there.
They're gonna head right for the house.
Yeah, you're probably right. Keep our eyes open.
Those are real Cheerios, by the way, and the Cheerios people have not paid me to say that. I ate about 60 bowls of those that day of shooting, and this seat is a little too hot for me. Is this how you get rid of your guests? I mean, this is like really...
Is this the first Disney film to have cannibalism in it, or are there others coming? Honey, I Ate the Kids.
I hope to do many more. I hope to do many more, much more shrinking and many more things with my kids.
Now, you don't have to deal with all the the weird sets and stuff that the kids had to go through, did you?
No, we just watched them be built and said, "See you later, por favor." We left Mexico and left the kids to do all that miniature stuff. It was really an incredible thing to watch. Joe Johnson, the director, did a great job of marrying the two sizes together.
Not bad.
I think it's a really good picture.
And then by August, you will be appearing with Steve Martin and a whole bunch of wonderful people.
Yeah, a great cast in Ron Howard's picture, Parenting. Jason Robards, Tom Hulse, Diane Weiss, Mary Steenburgen, and Steve Martin, of course. Martha Plimpton, Keanu Reeves, really fabulous.
And the Kodak All-American football team, if I'm not mistaken, and Brooke Shields and Miss February. Thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you very much. It's nice to see you.
Rick Moranis of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Parenthood, and Ghostbusters 2. Time for the news.